Hey, genius think you're calling the shots? Cute. Let me introduce the roommate living rent-free in your skull. Your shadow. He's the guy who grabs your phone at 2 a.m., drafts that you up, text, and then acts shocked when you wake up blocked. Tonight, we're hauling him into the light no therapy couch required. Just brutal honesty and maybe a flashlight. Stick around, because in the next 60 seconds, I'm exposing the one trait you hate in others that secretly fuels your own superpower. Ready to cringe? The one thing you despise in others is your untapped superpower quick thought experiment. Picture the coworker who makes your eye twitch, Mr. Loud Braggy Know-It-All. Got him? Good. News flash. That trait you loathe is the muscle you refuse to flex. Jealousy is just admiration wearing a ski mask. Hang on, because after a live street experiment, we'll prove 80% of you share the exact same forbidden impulse. Shadow Work 101 in 60 seconds. Carl Jung, the Swiss psycho detective, said we all wear two outfits. Persona your Instagram-friendly highlight reel. Shadow every impulse you shoved under the mental sofa because mom, school, or corporate HR said, nope. Here's the catch. Whatever you exile doesn't die. It lifts weights in the dark. One day, boom, it photobombs your life with bad tweets, rage honks, or midnight doom scrolling. Rule of thumb. The more perfect you act, the messier your shadow gets. Ignore it, and you're basically handing your car keys to a toddler hopped up on espresso. Street lab experiment. The confession wall. Picture a busy city square at lunch hour. A giant whiteboard pops up. Headline in screaming red. Write the impulse you'd never admit out loud. Sharpies appear like forbidden fruit. One by one, strangers sidle up looking over shoulders, pretending they're totally chill. I imagine quitting on Zoom and letting the call run. I stalk my ex's LinkedIn daily. Sometimes I hope my friend's podcast flops. Within 10 minutes, the board is covered and 80% of the confessions are the same four sins. Envy, revenge fantasies, doom scroll addiction, and secret flexing. Congratulations. Internet turns out your darkest thought is as basic as pumpkin spice shampoo. But here's the kicker. The stuff we bury together is exactly what chains us separately. Ready to unlock it? Jung's midnight wrestling match with the shadow. Now fade in on a vintage sepia comic strip. Carl Jung tiny round glasses. Epic mustache tossing and turning in a creaky 1907 hotel bed. At 3 a.m., he jolts awake, sheets twisted like a straitjacket after dreaming he'd throttled a priest. Yikes. Cue dramatic violins. Instead of blaming bad fondue, Jung grabs his notebook. Dream suggests a split-off part of the self, a shadow capable of violence if ignored. He realizes the shadow is the psychic garbage-chute. Stomp the lid shut, pressure builds. Crack it open, you can recycle the power. If Switzerland's calmest psychiatrist can dream choke a cleric, what might your shadow bench press tonight? The sabotage loop. 5 signs your shadow runs the show. Roll. A mental highlight reel of your last 24 hours and check every box that dings. Doom scroll jet lagged. You pop open one meme and boom, suddenly it's 3:47 a.m. and your eyeballs feel like beef jerky. Rage honking karaoke. You cuss out a jaywalker. Inside a sealed car. They can't hear you, but your shadow loves the rehearsal. Comedy roast camouflage. You mock your best friend's new haircut so hard the barber feels it, then claim, kidding. Perfectionism freeze tag. You've outlined the perfect podcast 16 times, but the record button still has factory dust on it. Pre-cancel self-defense. You delete your own tweet before anyone likes it. Can to get ratioed if you ghost yourself first. If you just hit 3 or more, your shadow isn't in the passenger seat. It hotwired the car and left a mixtape blasting, oops. I did it again. Buckle up, we're taking the wheel back. Interactive challenge. Hashtag shadow unlocked. Time for a public service awkward off. Grab a pen or open notes. Yes, you, lurking in 480p. Step 1, write it. Dump one brutally honest impulse you normally stuff under your social media sofa. Step 2, name it. Personify the gremlin. Mine's Tiny Tina, the pity party DJ. Yours might be Captain Clapback or Snack Sasquatch. Step 3, share it. Drop the nickname in the comments with hashtag Shadow Unlocked. Tomorrow, we'll flash the leaderboard of the funniest, creepiest, or straight-up relatable shadows. Warning: anyone who types, "I don't have a shadow," automatically gets assigned Sir Danny a lot. Don't test me. I've got stickers. Which billionaire mastered his shadow? Before we bust open the celebrity case file, picture a gold-plated elevator door slowly closing. Behind it, a shadowy figure adjusting a red tie, ready to fire the nearest mortal. Hint: he turned ego into rocket fuel for an empire, and half the internet can look away. Stick around, because in 60 seconds we'll dissect how owning that shadow keeps every camera rolling. Case Study Roast: President Trump. Persona versus Shadow. Roll the archival montage. Gold towers, reality TV boardroom, caps that promise greatness. President Trump's public persona is a 24-karat billboard, louder, shinier, and bigger than the actual building. But squint and you'll spot the real showrunner, his shadow. Watch the pattern. Projection 101. Calls opponents losers before they can whisper the word at him. Preemptive bragging. Claims highest ratings in history, so the shadow never has to feel small. Rally therapy. Turns inner chaos into crowd chant. 20,000 voices drown out any self-doubt. Here is the kicker. By owning his shadow, putting the raw impulses on full blast, Trump keeps critics orbiting him like paparazzi moths to a tungsten bulb. Lesson: integrate your shadow or it photobombs you. Weaponize it and you set the news cycle. Now, ready to torch a few myths that keep people afraid of this work? Myth-busting rapid fire. 3 lies about shadow work. Time for a lightning round of shadow BS bingo. Ready? Go! Shadow work is woo-woo crystal stuff. Nice try. Neuroimaging confirms that repressing emotions spikes amygdala activity like a toddler on gummy bears. Translation: science says your denial costs brain bandwidth. Do it once, you're cured. Sure, like brushing teeth once cures cavities. Shadow work is leg day for the psyche. Skip it and the stink returns. Facing my dark side will turn me dark. Wrong universe, Anakin. Research shows naming an impulse cuts its power by up to 40%. Ignored shadows leak out as snarky tweets. Integrated ones fuel authentic confidence. Bottom line: ignoring the shadow is like muting Google Maps and still expecting to dodge traffic. Spoiler: you crash. 30-second micro-meditation. Stare down your inner troll. Sit up. Yes, on the couch counts. Close your eyes, unless you're driving, in which case, hi, officer. Breathe in 4 beats, hold. Breathe out like you're fogging up a conspiracy board. Now, picture your shadow gremlin waving a tiny white flag. Nod at it. Say, "Not today, Tiny Tina, but thanks for the memo." Boom, mind gym cooldown complete. Next episode: the mask you don't know you're wearing. Before you flex that newly befriended shadow, remember, you've still got a persona the selfie filter you've mistaken for skin. Next week, we rip that mask off like a discount Band-Aid, and the reveal may sting. Think you're ready? Hit subscribe now, or risk watching from FOMO Purgatory. Join the Shadow Unlocked squad. All right, co-conspirator. If your brain's sparking like a cheap firework right now, smack that subscribe button before the algorithm tucks this wisdom under a cat video avalanche. Need backup? Grab the free Dark Side Starter PDF, a 3-page cheat sheet with a printable shadow naming template, 1-minute drills to keep Tiny Tina on a leash, and a preview quiz that will roast your persona in next week's episode. Screenshot your favorite page, post with hashtag Shadow Unlocked, and I'll shout out the spiciest entries on air. Remember, integrate the dark, amplify the light, then watch your life binge itself. See you on the other side.